What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and welcome to episode 136 of the People's Questions. If you can't already tell, today I'll be playing some Uncharted. And before I begin, I would just like to thank all of you guys for a really great set of questions. We got a reasonably big list this time. So jump right into the first, looks like over 10 questions coming from Big Phil 2695. And they seem to be just a lot of versus questions, so this should be really fast. So let's begin. Data from Star Trek versus the Terminator, Terminator would win. Enterprise from The Next Generation versus the Star Destroyer. Enterprise, it's much more maneuverable. You also want to know, how many fingers are you holding up? 3. What is my plan for world domination? Nuclear warfare. What would I like to see happen in the new Star Wars? Someone getting their head cut off and us actually seeing the head come off, not us implied, or happening off screen. Next question, how much would Lex Luthor have to pay you to... I'm not even going to finish this question. Next. When do you think the world will end?
Here they come.
I don't know. If it's after my death, I don't really care. Next question. If I could be a Jedi or a Starfleet captain, which would I pick? Jedi. That way I could use the Force. Who would win in a fight between 3TR or Adolf Hitler? Not even going to answer that question. Next. Who would win in a fight between Danny DeVito or Jack Nicholson? I don't know, I guess Jack Nicholson, I guess. He was the Joker. And last, who would win between Michael Jackson from the 1980s and a human-sized Grandpa Smurf? I'm not even going to answer that question. Next 5 questions come from the Father Monster Show, and he wants to know, out of Metal Gear Solids 1, 2, 3, and 4, what game is the worst? Well, I don't think any of them are bad, but if I had to say which one's my least favorite of those, probably 2. I just think that there's not really a lot of things. There's only like a couple of significant things that really matter to the overall franchise. 1, 3, and 4 have the most influence on the entire franchise to me. Next question is, do I like WWE, and if so, who's my favorite wrestler? Yeah, to a point. I actually did a list like a few months ago going over my top 10 favorite wrestlers, but if I had to pick my number 1, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, hands down. Next question, have I played any other older Splinter Cell games like the first, second, and third? I played the newest one, played it for an hour, hated it, and I never wanted to play Splinter Cell again. Next question is, what is my favorite Max Payne game and why? Believe it or not, it's actually Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. The reason I liked it so much is because I believe it's actually the darkest out of all 3 stories. Because with 3, Max just kind of seemed to be a bit depressing the whole time. And with 1, it was a straight up revenge story. And with the second one, it's kind of more of a Max may have a bit of hope despite having such a tragic life. And when Mona Sachs, which is like the only thing that has survived from his like vendetta, comes back into his life, he kind of gets hope that, maybe I could actually end up being happy or having some closure with, what resulted in the death of my wife. And I thought the story for that was just truly phenomenal. Next question is, do I own a PSP, and if so, what are my thoughts on it, and what is my favorite game for it? Do I own a PSP? Yes. What are my thoughts on it? It was a great handheld for its time, and what is my favorite game on it? Final Fantasy Crisis Core, hands down. Next question comes from Zach Williamson, and you want to know, who is my favorite Metal Gear Solid characters? I'm just going to go with my top 3. That is Solid Snake, Big Boss, and The Boss. Next 4 questions come from Mr. Firefly 246, and you want to know, do I think the PS Vita is dead? No, I actually don't think it's dead at all. I think there's definitely a lot of potential that it can be harnessed, but I don't think that Sony or any major studios have really been interested in making like a solid title for the Vita system. Like the only game that I can think of off the back of my head that a lot of people, I could say, might have gotten a Vita for, but I haven't heard them talk about it, is maybe the Uncharted Golden Abyss game. But I'm surprised that they haven't tried like converting that to like the console system, because they did that with the God of War games on PSP, and I thought that turned out very well. So I think they should just make more games to utilize what the Vita's strengths are. Next question is, how do I approach getting games on Platinum? I kind of like to look ahead to see exactly what type of games have like Platinums that don't take quite a lot of time. Like if there's a game that like you can actually get all platinum on like a one playthrough, like you play the game on like the hardest difficulty and you make sure you get all the collectible items and you make sure you do all the achievements in one run through, then that's usually the best way to get platinums. Next question is, how do I record my games? I use a Live Gamer portable capture card. It actually allows me to either record the footage directly to my laptop, or I can put it on an SD card and transfer it over from there. Next question is, how do I see my future of this channel? Hopefully, I hope this channel gets to, it gets a lot more subscribers, and I think somewhere down the line I would like to do this channel with somebody. I think having someone else to talk to while we're doing videos, having someone to play off will make these videos much more entertaining, and that's kind of what I want to go for. And the last question comes from Mark Main, and you want to know, will I be getting WWE 15? No, Mark Main, I own one wrestling game. I don't really need to pick up another one unless like a lot of people really would recommend that I get WWE 15, but as it stands right now, I'm not really interested. With that, those are the questions you guys sent in for this particular episode. I would like to thank all of you guys for your really great set of questions. If you like this video, feel free to like, comment down below, and please subscribe. You can check me in my future People's Questions episodes every Friday. And if you have any questions you would like me to answer in next Friday's episode, make sure you type them in the comments down below, but make sure you get them into me before next Wednesday. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.